Right guys, welcome back. So, as I previously said in the last video, this video is about basically making a start menu. I'm going to make quite a simple one. It's going to have one button, play, and then you go into the game. But with the stuff I'll talk you through, you can set up other things. You can have level select systems, you can have settings menus if you want. It all works in the same way. This is just the quickest way of getting it done. And yeah, let's crack on with it. So obviously I've got my level 1 and my level 2 scenes at the minute. I'm going to save them, save project, and I'm going to create a new scene altogether. Completely blank scene. I'm going to save the scene, and I'm just going to save it in scenes, and I'm going to call it start menu. So yeah, nothing in here, and this is where we start using UI systems. So I'm going to go to UI, I'm going to add a button, and I might add some text as well. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to add text. I'm just going to put just a button in there. If you want to add text, you could put some text in the middle of the screen, change the color. You know, I probably, if it was me and I was making this game into full development, I would probably put some sort of graphic, the name of my game, all that fun stuff. So obviously at the minute I can't see it anywhere, but if I double click it, what you'll see is this is our screen here, but it works off an overlay system. So this is where the UI goes, and you'll see if I go on canvas, I've got it set to screen space overlay. So anything that appears on here will be overlaid onto the camera. So that's how it works. Obviously at the minute the button's not seen because it's not actually on there anymore. I've just moved it. That's not what we're going to do, because it gets really weird. If you look there, the smaller the screen gets, the button just stays the same size, and I don't want it to do that. So what I do, people do this differently. Some people use specific anchors into here for presets. I like to set my own anchor points, and what an anchor point is essentially this here. You see this little kind of cross, or yeah, X marks the spot kind of thing. I'll do it and then I'll show you how it works. So this works off a grid reference essentially. So imagine it being like a 0 to 1, 0 to 1, like a graph. So you've got your X and your Y. So I'll do this and you'll see what I mean. So if I set this to 0.4, it should be around here somewhere. Yep. And I'll set this to 0.6, and you'll see that we've got somewhere in the middle of the screen. I'll set this on the bottom half of the screen, so maybe a bit lower than that actually. 0.3. Actually no, why not? Let's put it at 0.2, 0.4. That was not 4, that's 3. So you can see that these references that I've just been putting in here have kind of created this area here. So if I go here and I zero everything out, it'll take up the size of my anchor. And what we should see now is that the button shrinks and grows depending on the screen size, which is what it wasn't doing before. So I'm going to go to the text in here. I'm just going to write start because that's all it's going to do. I'm going to do best fit, which is something I like to do. You can play around with sizes. Some people hate best fit. It's just what I tend to do, because then the text will scale with the button. Some people hate doing this. I really don't mind. But yeah, we've got a start button. If I click play now, you will see that you can kind of see the button changes colour slightly when I go over it. I can click on it, you can see the colour more obviously. It's not going to do anything because I've not set any button functionality yet. So this is where stuff gets interesting, because we looked at build settings in the last video, so we're going to go there again. File, build settings, and I'm going to throw the start menu. I'm going to chuck it at the end just because I did set up a load level end in the last video and I don't want to mess up which build index it's going to. If you do put it at the start, make sure you go back to the other levels and check to see if you've done a level end and make sure that the build IDs match up. So all I need to remember is that level 1 is 0 and level 2 is 1. Obviously with the start button I'm just going to load straight into level 1. That's the plan. So that's going to require some sort of script. I'm going to create a brand new script for this. So C#, I'm going to call this, let's go with start button. Remember, call your scripts whatever you want. I'm just calling it that for the sake of it. And we're going to use something we used in the last video, which is the directory for using Unity engine.SceneManagement. It's going to be very similar to what we set up before, to be honest. To be fair, you could use it in exactly the same way. You could utilize the level transition. But with this, I'm just going to set up a public int first level. And exactly how we did before. Public void start button. Scene manager dot load scene first level. So if you did the last video, you'll see that that code's pretty much exactly the same, but I like to set them up slightly differently so I don't confuse level transitions and start buttons, because there's things you could add to the level transition that you wouldn't want on the start button. Actually, I'm going to change this slightly because I've just realised I've messed up. Never call your function the same as your script, which is basically what I just did. So now my function is called start button click. It was lucky I figured that out before I did it. That's it. In terms of code, that's it done. So what we can do, we can go to the button. We can drag in the script. If I can drop it in. Remember, we're going to go to level 1, which is 0 on the build index, so I can leave that as it is. And then just here where it says on click, list is empty, we click the plus. It's asking for some form of object, so I'm just going to drag that into there. No function is currently selected. We click that. We go to this. Oh, give it a second. Start button, and we should see in here start button click, which is the thing that we set up in the script. So with that, we should now be able to click play, click on this, and there we go. Takes us straight into his first level. So that works. That works exactly how we intended it to. Obviously, this is probably the most ugly start screen you've ever seen in your life, but the possibilities of what you can do with this are quite endless. You know, you could set this up so you click play, it takes you to a level select screen. You can choose which level you want to go to. This could load up a map with hidden buttons on it, and you select which area you're going to. There's a lot you can do with this. I've just made this quite simple so that you guys can expand on this in the way that you need to. I can't really go into specifics because people will use this in lots of different ways depending on the style of game they're making. But yeah, that's that. It should be relatively simple to do. In the next video, I'm just going to go through setting up some UI in a similar way we've done here, just for the lives and the collection system that we set up in previous videos. I want to throw something in there, close that loop. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.